Hi, Mr. Paul. Go ahead and get started right into the chords for review. So you've got your full G that I was telling you about. So you've got the 5th string, 6th string, 2nd, 1st, okay? And that's for the full G. C at 9, you just take these down 1 notch right there for the 4th string and 5th string. Those two stay the same. And then for the E minor 7, you can just bring that back here because that's the one, that'll be the 3rd chord in the Wagon Wheel song. So just switch over into C at 9 just like that for an easy switch. The 2nd chord will be after G following it. It'll go right into the D string, or D chord. So you've got the middle finger on the 1st string, ring finger on the 2nd, index on the 3rd. And granted, I am at an angle. I am not flat like this to it. I'm just at like a 45-degree angle to there. Arching my fingers over the top, not keeping them flat, nice and arched though, like a tabletop. And then ring finger on the 2nd string, okay? And then, let me just switch my chair up a little bit here. We'll go ahead and try the strum pattern. Now for the G chord, starting out like this, practice your switches before you attempt the changes with the strum pattern. So like G, middle finger migrates all the way to the 1st string, index finger migrates to the 3rd string, and the pinky comes off. So again, G migrates to the 1st, to the 3rd string, and then pinky's off. So if you can do that simultaneously, that's great. But just for slow processes, you want to bring that down, and pinky off. Boom, 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 and you'll just want to practice that. And then from the D, you want to practice here to the E minor 7, which again you'll add the pinky finger here. The index will migrate up 1 string, middle finger will migrate above it. So that's again from the D, index finger will migrate up 1 string, middle finger will migrate up to on top of it on the 2nd fret, and then you add your pinky. So again, D, index up 1, middle finger up above that. I'm sorry, I keep taking my thumb away for the shadow. There, 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 there. Okay, and then for C at 9, boom, and then C at 9 to G, boom. So you go from C at 9 up 1 string each. So that is the whole entire chord transition for Wagon Wheel. So now the strum pattern. Down, down, up, up, down. So remember how I was talking about how your arm's going to be like a pendulum? You're going to go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. But you're strumming only some of those movements. So you're going to go down, down, up, down, like that. And each chord is going to get 1 strum pattern. So practicing that from one to another, you're going to go like down, down, up, down, and switch to the next chord, which will be D next, and down, down, up, down. Now for D, I'm only strumming about 5 strings. For G, I strummed all 6. For E minor 7, I will strum all 6. And for C at 9, I will strum 5. So D and C at 9 get 5, E minor 7, and G get 6. Okay, so again from the G, down, up, switch to the D, and strum that one, down, up, down. Now remember, I'm strumming down with like these 2 fingers against it, and then when I'm strumming up, I'm using the side of my thumb like that, like that. It's just a lot quicker whenever I'm doing it. Okay, so again from the G, down, up, and switch to the D, down, up, down. Now if that transition is still a little too quick, which I'm assuming it will be, practice the end pattern of the G to the beginning pattern of the D. So the end pattern of the G will be an up, down, and you'll switch to the D and go down. So that's how you should practice every one of your chord transitions, the end of one chord to the beginning of the next. So up, down, down, and try your best to get faster each time you do it. Up, down, down. So if your best right now is currently up, down, transition, transition, taking off, down, then that's fine. Just make sure your next few times are just striving to be a little bit faster. So up, down, down, feel like it's no hesitation whatsoever. And I know that takes time, so go ahead and pause the video if you need to and just review those. So now let's go on to the next one. D into E minor 7. So D, index finger is going to go up one, middle finger above it. So same thing, let's just do the full strum pattern and then we'll break it down. Down, down, up, down, switch, down. Okay, so now let's try just doing the up, down, switch, down. Again, up, down, index up one, middle finger up to above it, down. So again, back to the D, up, down, at pinky, index up one, middle finger above it, up, down, up, down. Try to keep getting better and better at it over and over. And then when you feel comfortable with it, if you haven't paused the video already, go ahead and pause it, get better at it. So now let's try it with the full pattern from the D to the E minor 7. Down, up, down, and switch, down, down, up, down. Let's try that again. Go back to the D. Down, up, down, and switch, down, up, down. So you can see I've got this. I've done this for years, so obviously I'm going to switch way faster than you are. No offense. But just to clarify, this is how quickly I'm switching. I'm putting my finger down, or my pinky down first, and then I put those up. And I'm almost doing them simultaneously. So I'm like boom, 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 boom. Kind of like the whole phantom exercise that I was telling you about, the where you're just going up one at a time, and it's the muscle memory that I have by now to know exactly the distance between strings because each of them are equidistant. So if this to this is the same, then that one to that one should be just double the distance of this. And just so on and so forth to practice. Okay, so the last couple chords to practice from the after the D to E minor 7 will be E minor 7 to C at 9, which is super easy switch. You're just sliding it over. So that should be no problem right there from the E minor 7. Down, down, up, down, slide it over, up, down. So E minor 7 gets all 6, up, down. C at 9 gets 5, up, down. And whenever, or E minor 7, C at 9, yeah. C at 9 gets 5, and whenever I'm strumming that one, I'm pretty much just aiming for, I'll aim for like the first 4 strings, and if I happen to get the 5th string, awesome. If I don't, it's not a big deal to not get that 5th string. It's really just as long as you're hitting not this string, not the E string. So let's go back to E minor 7, all 6. Fingers up uniformly because they're only going up one string at a time, both fingers, while these two stay the same. C at 9 G, C at 9 G. So C at 9, start from there, down, up, down to G, up, down back to C at 9, up, back to G, up. So now that's all of the transitions. So let's start from the beginning, and I'll do it slow so you can get a real grasp of it, and then I'll do a little bit faster version. And if I'm still going too fast or too slow, there is 3 little dots. I forget which corner it is, but there's 3 little dots that you can just click on and click playback speed, and it'll slow it down or speed it up if you'd like. So let's go back, and of course it'll speed up my voice too, so it'll sound really funny, but it's fine either way. So let's start from the G, so you can see. So I'll go without hesitation from G to D to E minor 7 to C at 9, G, D, oh I forgot, C at 9 twice. So the pattern for the entire wagon wheel on repeat is G, D, E minor 7, C at 9, G, D, C at 9 twice. G, D, E minor 7, G, D, or E minor 7, C at 9, G, D, C at 9 twice. Apologies apologies, I screwed that up. So I'll just show you so you know, and I'm not confusing you any further. So starting on the G, down, down, up, down to D, up, E minors after this, up, C9, up, back to G, up onto D, up, C9 twice. I know we haven't covered that, but if you need to go ahead and pause the video, which I'm sure you do, go for it, and practice that. Up, D, up, E minor 7, up, C at 9, up to G again, up onto D, C at 9 twice, up, down, back to G. So go ahead, and if you need to, go from D to C at 9, D to C at 9. Again, your index finger is only going to go up one, and the middle finger is going to go above it, just over a fret above these two fingers. So D, C at 9, D, C at 9. Okay, so let's go a little bit faster, and then I'll show you the exercises you should also be practicing just to keep your fingers nimble, and then I hope you enjoy this practice video. So faster now, about up to speed of the actual song. Okay, down, down, up, down. 1, 2, ready, go. It just repeats. The only part where it's not that strum pattern is the bridge when he's like head down south out room no cut E minor 7 then a C at 9 joke or whatever. So yeah, that's the only part where he does that fancy schmancy single pattern. And then let's go on to the practice exercises. Now that pace takes time to build up, so don't be upset if you can't get it just within this next week, because it does take time. But go ahead and try to practice your best to get as quickly as you can from G, D to E minor, C at 9, G, D, C at 9 twice. Just work on it. So now the practice exercises, for example, like with your thumb on the first string and your hand at a 45-degree angle, just to pluck, 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 and keeping all your fingers on at the same time. And then another one, and going backwards. Making sure they each sound clean. You don't want it to sound like... It's just, you want it to be as clean as possible. So now for hammer-ons and pull-offs, which I don't think we covered pull-offs, but we did cover hammer-ons, so let's do that. So you're going to pluck, and kind of like pinching, you're just going to hammer on, like whenever we were talking about the phantom exercises. It's kind of like that, but then you're going to pluck first with your right hand, and then hammer on. So leaving that finger on now, where it sounds like this, you're going to leave that finger pressure down, and you're going to pluck, and hammer on the middle finger, pluck, hammer on the ring, pluck, and hammer on the pinky. Now that is the hardest one. If you can keep all 4 fingers down, super kudos. I know you're strong, so you should be able to do it, but it is a difficult feat for the first time playing. And then pull-offs, which I don't know if we covered or not, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. So plucking, and you're just going to lift them off. Actually, I think we did. And then ring, lift them off, pluck, lift it off, and keeping the finger pressured behind it, pluck, lift off. Yep, so hammer-ons, pull-offs. Those are good good little exercises to practice to keep the dexterity and the nimbleness, and also build good calluses to keep those, I don't think you can see them, but those little creases in my fingers. Okay, so work on that, and I shall see you next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. All right, have a good rest of your week, Mr. Paul.